Hey, what's going on YouTube? I'm Blaze, and today I bring to you the one Grievous tip versus every hero and class. This is a new series I'm starting, so do subscribe if you want to keep up to date with the other videos I'll be doing. You can let me know in the comments what hero you want to see next, even. For assaults, you just want to block their vanguard, and then slash them immediately afterwards. If you've got the Jedi Trained card at green level, which you should have, it'll one-shot them. If not, you'll need to hit them again. Secondly, we have Heavy. Now the Heavy, because they have such high fire rate weapons, you can't really claw rush at them in a direct line, or they're very likely, even if they're bad players, to seriously damage you. And it's even more so when they've got their sentry out. So what I like to do is when I claw rush towards a Heavy, is I like to zigzag, and then as soon as I hit them, obviously I animation cancel with the flip to do 260 damage to the Heavy, which will kill him unless he's boosted by an officer. And next up, the officer, flashbang. It's pain. It will take you out of the game, and especially if there's a large group of enemies moving in your direction, it can cause you some serious damage. So what I like to do is I like to do a 180, and using some amount of spatial awareness, and knowing where my team are on the mini-map, I can point myself in a kind of open, straight line with my claw rush ability, so that I can use its damage resistance and its speed and obviously the lower hitbox to get away from where the enemies are closing in on me and take minimal damage. Now for the specialist, remember that you can claw rush through her shock grenade ability and it won't have any movement restriction on you, and obviously the damage is minimal because you're moving very fast, so you're not in the shock grenade very long. This is kind of a minor tip, but it's good to remember that you can do that, and by the time the shock grenade has run out, you're running back, so there's no issue of when you're running back through the hallway that you'll get caught in it. And also, if the specialist has her infiltration up, you want to block it and then slash, just like with the assault's vanguard. The aerial class is a very interesting interaction with Grievous. Because they have really high mobility and Grievous has very low mobility, it means that they can basically dodge everything that Grievous does. It is slightly in your favour when you're playing as Grievous because you can tank most of the damage, especially the rocket launcher. You can take that to the face, claw rush out of there and heal all of it back up, unlike, let's say, Han Solo, for example. But the issue is that they can just dodge out of the way of everything. The only way you're ever going to kill an aerial is if you manage to get a flank on them, or their reaction times aren't fast enough to dash out of the way of your claw rush. Keeping it simple with Wookiees here, because Ben Walk, the community manager for Battlefront 2, has said out on Twitter that Wookiees will be receiving a nerf soon, so I don't want to say anything that'll soon be outdated. It's very simple. Don't slash Wookiees in the face, because even though you'll kill them, they'll end up doing way more damage to you, and it's not good for your health. 3 tips for Chewie here, seeing as he's so difficult to deal with. Seriously, his damage is ridiculous, and he'll melt you in seconds unless you play it right. So firstly, avoid him at all costs unless you can otherwise help it. Secondly, you want to bait out both his Furious Bowcaster and his stun. So most Chewbaccas will usually combine these two. So you want to dash out of cover, wait for him to initiate with either the stun or the Furious Bowcaster, and just before the stun hits the floor, or whilst he's doing the Furious Bowcaster animation, you want to dash behind cover and just run away, just get out of there. But keeping such a distance that as soon as his abilities go off cooldown, you can claw rush into him, do the animation cancel, and then slash him twice in the back to kill him, and that's easy way to kill Chewie. So the third and final tip is that actually if he charge slams towards you, you can claw rush into him, and you'll cancel his ability, but you'll also deal the 130 damage from claw rush and knock him over. And if you time it right, you can also animation cancel, deal a bonus 130 damage to Chewie, setting you up for the later fight. Most Landos like to throw their disabler down, then immediately detonate it as soon as you get too close, and then rapid fire you in the head to insta-burst you. So what I like to do is as soon as I see my radar glitch out, or I see him throw his disabler down, I dash behind him, so he has to do a 180 before shooting my head, and then so as soon as I'm left with some health after the stun, I can just dash behind him, put a couple in his back, and then maybe a claw rush as well to kill him. So the tip here for Han is to not directly claw rush at him unless you know he's got his detonate charge off cooldown, because if you claw rush at him whilst he's got his detonate charge, he'll just throw it at you, put you off course, and then put a load of damage into you, which is not the best case scenario. Instead, you want to approach him from a different angle, or claw rush at him after you've seen him use his detonate charge. There isn't actually much of a tip here for Leia, because none of what she does particularly counters you, and there are no special interactions. You just want to claw rush towards her, cancel it as soon as you get to her, and then either dash behind her and slash her, or just start slashing her immediately. You can also try and fit in a thrust surge as soon as you've knocked her over with claw rush, because she's standing still, so most of the time it will hit, but that's optional, and I personally wouldn't recommend it. For Finn, you want to save your Claw Rush until he activates his aimbot ability, because he can't actually target you whilst you're in Claw Rush with the aimbot, so you can use that to either aggressively push him, or you can retreat as soon as he activates the aimbot so that you don't take too much damage afterwards. When initiating a fight against a Yoda, you want to save your Claw Rush until he ends up running away, because his mobility is so high that without Claw Rush he'll get away, but with Claw Rush you can deal 260 follow-up damage to the initial fight, almost definitely killing him. For Luke, you just want to block his Force Push and his Force Repulse. Other than that, there's not really much to it. As soon as Rey mind tricks you, you want to have your crosshair in her general area, and then what most Reys do is they actually charge towards you. So what you want to do is you want to Claw Rush immediately, and then you'll run into a charge, and what will happen is you'll both get knocked down, but the game will still think that you're in Claw Rush, so for every second that she's knocked down next to you, you'll be dealing 130 damage, and you actually end up dealing 3 ticks of damage, so that's 390 damage to her by the time she gets up, and that's her finished. You can also try and thrust surge if you're still inverted, because what will happen is that you don't actually need to aim for that, and obviously when you're inverted, aiming is not the easiest thing in the world. Hey guys, that's the end of the video. Like if you enjoyed, tell me in the comments below what you'd like me to do next. I think I've got a Vader ability guide coming soon, so do subscribe. Remember, it doesn't cost you anything.